Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla, here to talk to you today about KST handlebars. You should be checking out a set of KST handlebars for your bike if you're looking for a set of really affordable bars and you're riding a dresser. So KST is cranking these bars out for a number of different motorcycles. I think you're going to see them concentrating very heavily on the late model bagger market. You're also going to see some stuff too for FL softails, but for the most part I imagine most of the people watching this video are probably checking these out for a Batwing or a Shark Nose bike. Now, installation on these, I'm going to say, kind of sets the alarm bells off here. This is a 3-bearder. If you've never swapped a set of handlebars on a fared bike, you should know it is a pretty labor-intensive task. You're either going to be paying the dealer quite a bit of money to do this, or you're probably going to invest quite a few of your own hours in order to get this swap handled by your lonesome. We'll talk a little bit more about installation in just a sec. First, though, let's get into KST, who they are, what they're making, and why you should think about one of their sets of handlebars for your motorcycle. So KST Kustoms is an aftermarket handlebar manufacturer. They are headquartered out of Georgia, so everything you see up here is going to be made in the United States of America. I know it's important to a lot of you folks for your bike, as well as the parts you're putting onto your bike. We've got a couple different styles up here. You can see we've got the King. Moving on to the center here, we've got the Straight Jacket, and down here we have their Punisher style bar. You can see if you have these welded gussets in there. All of these somewhat unique. You've probably seen similar styles before. These guys aren't necessarily breaking the mold on their design. However, there are some really neat features about these in addition to the price that I think make them worth taking a good long look at. So we'll start out with some of the benefits and features you can see on these bars, and really most of this boils down to construction. So we're looking at these bars. One thing you probably don't realize right now, these are all made of 304 grade stainless. These are a stainless bar. This is kind of neat. What that means is this particular bar you're looking at, this is not a chrome finish. While you do have the option of a gloss black finish or a satin black finish they offer, anything you see that is silver is actually polished. This is polished stainless. This is not chrome. It's not a coating. Finding a stainless bar is fairly difficult without going to a custom bar manufacturer. What this means to you is that you don't have to worry about a coating on this bar. Should you get a nick or a dinger in these bars, it simply polishes out. It's a very nice sort of feature that comes with stainless as a material. Now, one of the other things you should also realize too, everything you're looking at up here, TIG welded, which kind of makes sense. Again, being that this is stainless, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to TIG these bars together. But there's some other design and construction features about these, I think, too, that sort of make swapping these onto your baggers as easy a job as it possibly can be. You'll notice here we have a throttle by wire notch on here. Again, these are going to be installed, I think, primarily by those of you on late model bikes. However, if you do have an earlier dresser and you do want to use these on there, you can simply get a throttle by wire plug, which we sell separately at RevZilla. You can throw them on there and use these on an early bike as well. Notice too, these bars are slugged, not swaged. Some people have a preference as far as design is concerned. Underneath here, you see these things are drilled. Now the drill holes on this are going to serve for both dimpling as well as slotting for those of you who want to run internal wires. So not only do you have the slots up top here, you've got one again in the center down below, so you can run your wires cleanly down to the center of things. And we move down these bars too. Notice firstly, we've got heavy knurling here. This is killer important. Those of you who run a tall bar understand the more leverage you have in there, the more propensity the bars have to slip inside of the risers. Heavy knurling kind of help keep that at bay. Note too, again, these things are slugged in the center. These bars are stepped down. They are not swaged. So if you do happen to be running a set of these bars on a bike where they are visible, I'm thinking Road King, FL Softail, maybe some custom applications, you do want to use a one-piece top clamp. You'll notice we've got some 2 pieces on here. This is just for display. You do want to elect to use something like a one-piece top clamp, again, to keep that area looking nice when it's on your motorcycle. So there's a couple different reasons you might want to go with a KST bar, but one of the things we really need to talk about is installation. I think this is going to be paramount for a lot of you folks who are considering a set of handlebars for your dresser. There's a lot that goes into this job. You're going deep into the fairing on this. So along with your bars, you're probably going to want to get a couple other things. You probably want to consider a set of grips while you're in there. One of the other things you're going to need almost certainly too are handlebar cable extensions as well as wiring extensions. You can't simply just stretch all your stuff out. You're going to have to actually lengthen those wires, lengthen those cables so you can install these. We've got kits available. Make sure you look into those. One of the other things too, I think a lot of people forget about while they're in there, I'm going to encourage you strongly to consider a set of riser bushings for 2 reasons. Firstly, since riser bushings are difficult to get to in a dresser, I think a lot of people sort of put off replacing them. There might be a little bit of slop in them. People say, they'll be okay for a little longer because it's a good solid 8 hours to get inside there to replace them if you head down to your local dealer. Now the other thing too I'd recommend while you're in there, not just maybe necessarily upgrading your riser riser bushings in terms of a new set of rubber ones, you might want to also look into urethane or perhaps a set of solid metal ones. And the reason I suggest that is when you go with these bars, a lot of you guys are going to be coming up. You're going to be getting your bars up out of the fairing. It provides you a little bit more leverage, and that means that your riser bushings are working overtime. I cannot encourage you enough to consider a set of riser bushings when you're grabbing a set of these handlebars. Other things you may want to think about while you're in there: set of fairing support brackets. I know some of the earlier dressers can have problems with those cracking. It's a very thin metal in there. These things often, even if you weld them and replace them, they still wind up cracking. There are some great polymer options out there. We sell a couple here at RevZilla. You do want to probably take a peek at yours and consider buying a set while you're in there. And then the final thing to think about too while you're inside that fairing, I know I'm just stacking up with stuff to buy here, is also audio upgrades. If you have any plans to swap out speakers or perhaps your head unit, now is the time to do it. Now, I know it sounds like I'm selling you a bill of goods here though. However, the reality is that getting into the fairing is either A, a bunch of your time, or B, a bunch of your dealer's time, which means a bunch of your money. While you're in there, you want to make the best use of that labor as possible, get as many things done as possible so you don't wind up paying for it twice down the road. Having said that, that's what kind of classifies us in that three-beard category. Again, this is still not something that everybody can't do. It just is a bit of a tedious process. However, if you're not much of a wrench, you may want to consider paying somebody else to get in there and do it for you. So if it's not immediately evident, I really do like these KST bars. I don't think I'll be putting them on my motorcycle simply because they don't really offer a fitment for them, and the styles maybe not quite my speed. However, I do love the idea that you can get a stainless bar without having to spend buku bucks at a custom manufacturer just to get a set of bars that are made of something other than mild steel. Don't take my word for it though. Check out some other riders are saying about KST bars they're running on their rigs. If you need a little bit more individualized attention, we can help you, whether it's with respect to fitment or perhaps installation. You can get one of our Gear Geeks on the phone, 877-792-9455, or of course you can always get one of our Harley Parts Pro by email, cs@revzilla.com. I'm Lem, I'm out of here.